Oh, there's also the replay sent in from Blarsh. Someone wanted some position for analysis. Blarsh queued up as Treant Protector, and he's playing on team Dire. He's laning with a Spectre. This is 3000 MMR. And his team is Slardar, mid, I presume. Axe, off lane. No, hold on a second. There's a couple of funny things going on here. I think I forgot what 3k MMR is like. I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, I think it is Slardar mid, but I'm afraid that it's... No, you know what? No. This okay, it's fine. It's Axe 3, Venge 4, Slardar mid, and Spectre 1. I think I figured it out. It's not an Axe mid. He does have Ops Ward and Heal Solve, so I almost feel like maybe it is Axe mid and Slardar 3. Yeah, maybe that's actually what it is. Alright, yeah, okay. Weird. You are a Treant Protector. Now, you opened up with Sage Mask, Magic Stick, and Tango. Before we go on, let's first talk about your expectation for this game. Slardar is good at single target damage. He's got stuns. He's gonna click people, right? Axe, he's gonna blink in, call, try to get kills. It's good for you to be aware of the entire situation of what everyone wants to do. What does every hero, let's start with that. What does every single one of the 10 heroes ideally want to do? What's their good game look like? Because you're position 5, so you're supposed to be an enabler. And during the course of a game, you're going to choose who you are going to be best enabling based on the optimal theory and how it's actually going. Spectre wants every 60, 50 to 40 seconds, provided she has resources and good enough farm and threat, she wants her team to do a in-vision smoke gank or in-vision not smoke gank blink attack where he can shadow step in and get a kill. Spectre wants a relatively proactive team that groups up a lot as 4, while she plays on the opposite side of the map and haunts in with shadow step. That's what Spectre wants. What she does not want is to be involved directly head-to-head battles, to play on the same side as allies, as XP is very important for her. So you don't want to steal XP at any time when it is possible for you not to be there. Axe is an active player potentially. He can jungle well as well, but generally prefers to play out of lane. Because when he's in lane, he's not a threat to the opponent. But when he's out of lane, he could virtually be anywhere. Giving Axe good opportunities to do blink call kills relies a lot on vision, and I would like you as a position 5 to think of creative vision. There's the Neanderthal vision, which is on all the standard cliffs. Any monkey can put a vision ward there. Then there's the 2 middle observer wards, very common spots as well. Then you've got the second alternative spots, such as here, here, and here. Maybe, yeah. And this is another like nice alternative spot. But if you want to get creative observer wards, Treant is the perfect hero to do it. And that's ultimately going to give Axe a lot of opportunities to play active and get kills. Venge is a safe support, which will be reserved for someone that gets blown up, most likely by either Mars or Lina. And Slardar is a single target clicker. He farms very well if he gets Axe and Shard. Otherwise, he does like to be active. There is a chance he's going to go for Midas, in which case he's going to be much less active. If it's a less active game, you may consider to also play less active and to play very defensively. Defensively would be maxing living armor before Q or W. It might mean getting Midas, so that you can get some late game scaling. And letting the opponent dive into you, rather than thinking that you have to get up out there and go into them. So now we've talked about what your heroes can and want to do. Venge might also get a Midas, so that he can afford Aghanim Scepter, Force Staff, Aether Lens, and Yule's things that he likes to get to save himself after saving someone else. And we briefly treat what kind of items Treant might want in a general game. Shard is high priority, it's an extra route. Blink is high prio, helps you to get away from trouble as you see it coming. It also helps you to do a good overgrowth in an optimal location, preferably after Mars Arena and not into Macropyre. very good. Meteor Hammer is sometimes a Dark Horse item for Treant. And it's also not terrible to go Guardian Greaves or Boots of Bearing in the low ranks. That's always going to be helpful for team. Additionally, Solar Crest is very useful. It pairs up great with Leech Seed and Nature's Grasp to crawl someone to a slow if you use it offensively. And it's also good defensively to empower one of your 3 cores. So these are some of the options. Now let's talk about what the opponent wants to do so that you understand how you're going to be playing. And then we'll talk about the lane in particular. Mars is someone that locks out enemy range damage in a fight. You don't have any range damage, so it's not a great Mars game. Nonetheless, Arena can still be a way to force people to use BKB, as they do not want to become a sitting duck against Luna and Lina without being able to get at them. So it is a BKB forcer, and that's going to be his main goal most likely. For the rest, Mars can also build direct damage via Desolator, and in fact he might. He's getting Blightstone. And then he actually just becomes kind of an assassin bruiser who doesn't rely only around Arena, but will actually be doing a lot of single target damage. Venomancer is a vision hero, a vision support. They can get useful utility like Force Staff, Yules, Vessel. They can get their Shard and Axe, and this is great anti-healing, slow, and so on. Sometimes a stun. But mostly their Plague Ward is what makes them special. They're pretty good early game, and they're good against enemy melee to gap them, aka to create space to prevent Axe and Slardar from blinking. And also, after they did blink, to have trouble connecting with the next target due to all the slows. And the wards are great to do a lot of vision control, etc. Jakiro is best as a counter engage because he has a wind up on all his spells. He's most likely going to try and counter the Slardar, Axe, or Spectre engage by casting W and R, the slow, the freeze, and the ult. Luna is an accelerated farming, semi-range, semi-melee carry. She's going to get much higher level fast than Spectre, and she will do so partially, if the team does it, via farming the Ancients that have been stacked. At the high level, Luna becomes active with a Manta and a Morbid Mask. Can already get very active with that. But at the lower level, maybe they're going to go like Mask of Madness into Manta, into another item, maybe BKB, Butterfly, before actually getting active. But you should expect to see her start attacking between level 12 to 18. At this level, I would say, my guess. Lina. Lina is playing mid. She is likely to win against Axe, I would say. And will play with Flying Vision, if she follows the meta, Flame Cloak, and will have extreme long-range nuke that can single-target delete someone. Your team is not super susceptible to it, but it doesn't mean it's not a threat, right? In order to ever catch Lina, it will be down to Axe, Slardar with Blink, or you with Blink, to try and catch her and counter-engage. After her ult, she has very high attack speed, so it becomes very worth it to overgrowth her. For Luna, she's going to dispel your overgrowth with Manta or BKB, so keep that in mind if you ever do blink overgrowth in. This is the initial assessment of the draft. Now let's talk about the lane. You are Spectre and Treant. Spectre can get some kills with max dagger, but it relies on the opponent already being distracted and weak. The chances that Spectre gets a kill when the enemy goes on Spectre first are very low. So you need to play as bait. You go in and use your girthy health pool, your stealthy shadow through the trees to hit an opponent, make them go on you, and then use Leech Seed, which you will max initially, and Nature's Grasp to turn around on them. If Spectre feels like you're dropping to half-life, but the opponents are 60, she may actually join you, especially if you do a ping. And that's the way you want the lane to go. If you do not draw any attention on yourself, if you do not randomly start punching an opponent, they will have the freedom to do auto attacks, denies, CS, and all-ins on Spectre without you being able to save them. On that note, as a 5, you generally sacrifice your net worth in order to make your 1 more comfortable. I would argue that Sage Mask is a massive waste of money in this goal. Right now, you have a Sage Mask, and the first time you punch someone in lane, that mask doesn't do anything. It won't do anything after your first, second or third spell either. It's only your fourth, fifth or sixth spell that might potentially see you run out of mana. Because of that, you've just bought an item at minute 0 that will not function for you until minute 2. Understand? So never start with a Sage Mask as a position 5.
30 seconds to battle.
Understood. Good. So what you want to start with is a stick. My starter kit for support is a stick, 2 tangos. This allows you to aggressively start trading and use one immediately when you drop below 100%. A stick, 2 tangos, 2 branches, a blood grenade to have a double slow with leech seed. And then you want to have a sentry in order to make sure that the enemy camp is blocked and yours is unblocked. You've already blocked theirs. This is good. Then you can play from blocks, as this choke is far more likely for you to get a kill on them than if you just play open in a lane here. You've placed a sentry, that's good. Now let's get some more stats so you can trade. Okay, let's see how you played this. Bounty rune, Skerfuffle.
The battle begins.
You man up, you start hitting. You don't need me to know that this was a relatively aggressive play. Just looking to get the bounty and run. TP to lane. You got another sentry. And your camp is blocked. Since you knew that they came from 5 top and killed you here, and you came to lane late, you don't know if sentry has been placed. I would recommend, it's a good habit for you to simply go here immediately and check if they dewarded it. Of course, you can always deward it later, but the earlier you unblock it, even if it costs you a potential useless sentry, the better. Also keep in mind that you want to make sure that if they place a sentry to remove yours eventually, that one sentry cannot unblock yours and this one at the same time. So if you were going to choose a place to place your sentry to check for an unblock, do it over here. Gives you a second chance to get an observer ward here, and it creates more distance to reduce the likelihood that both sentries get cleared by a single one. You now go for a Leech Seed attack on Venno. I don't mind this at all given the fact that you have a Sage Mask, since you want to start using your mana as quickly as possible in order to get value from your Sage Mask. Sage Mask is wrong, but considering you have it, Leech Seeding the first target you meet is correct. Now, here's a tip that I got from some pro coaches. You want to figure out if you want to directly interact with the enemy offlaner or support. Would you rather 2v1 Mars while Venno is on the other side, so you stand on the left and Venno is here, or would you rather one-on-one Venno? Probably Mars, definitely a mistake. I don't know if it's a mistake. I think Mars has 2 armor, so your 90 damage will actually hit him pretty bad, and Mars is the most likely to play very aggro into Spectre. I don't think you made a mistake per se. I'm just looking to ask questions, not just to find mistakes. And your guess is Mars. I don't know if it's because it's the opposite of what you were doing and I asked you that question. I do think it is probably correct to start hitting Mars. He may seem intimidating and big, but so are you. And Venno, anytime you go on him, he's going to Gale, and what's going to happen then is you're going to turn around. I don't mind that too much either. Any Gale that's only on you is not on Spectre. So even if you do go for him and you Leech Seed him and he instantly trades Gale, I think that's fine. You get hit, he didn't. So if you do go for Venomancer, make sure you never line up like so that he gets the double value of Venomous Gale on you and on himself. And on Spectre. But yes, I do think it's a little better to go on Mars. So now, ideally, what would happen is you check how is the lane doing, and if the lane is too deep, you would do a half pull or a full pull, and that's also a source of some extra gold and XP potentially. Hug the trees using your nature's guise. Play out of vision. You're now aware that he blocked it, but he's here. So you can't do anything. You trade spells, but remember, if he gales, just run. And now he's gonna unblock your sentry. Yeah, Very tempting. I made that mistake a lot. Just don't do it while they're still there. So, because you cannot follow advice that I have already given, I'm not going to repeat myself, as it would not have any value. Instead, I'm gonna create a kind of creation of the scenario, how it would look like if we tried to play this a little differently. So here's how we would play this probably ideally. You watch Spectre and you see his mana pool. You buy new mangoes. Spectre's full life and so are you, but you're getting slowed when you go for Venno. So instead you try to stay on the other side of Venno and also moreover hide. So you see Venno, you're like, oh yeah, I remember last time I played Venno, he slowed me, I couldn't get to him. You're gonna walk all the way like this. Take this, walk here, walk here. They may see you, but that's gonna force a recalibration of their movement. Any mental brain power that you're taking for them to recalibrate, it's time that they're not spending as much on focusing your Spectre. Additionally, if he blocks your camp, but they unblock theirs, but the lane is pushed, that's actually a blessing in disguise. The timing for this is 225. At 225, you will pull their camp into your own approaching wave. 225. And they may try to contest, and the way that you can fix that is doing an aggro click on Venomancer. So you walk up here, you see Venno, you see the pineapples, you hit the pineapple, then you immediately hit Venomancer, but you do not walk towards him much. Then you walk up, you've got them following you for 2.6 seconds. You find someone on the map again, click them again, keep the pineapples following, and you keep walking up, and you make a pull. That's gonna help a lot. Yeah, so generally pooling mechanics are quite complicated. But if they do get a successful block and they pull the lane back, it's a blessing in disguise because then you can use their camp. Would still go here and unblock it so that you can play from here as well. So click your carry off and check their health and tangos and so on. And also their mangoes. He definitely wants to have a mango because he's low on mana. And you are aware that he's in trouble, so you're going to go here, you're going to Leech Seed Mars. And then you're gonna hit Mars. And he walked away and he saw Venno coming. So you're gonna punch Venno. And now Spectre will die, probably, because he doesn't have Mango. Because if he had a dagger, he would have slowed the opponent. And he should have speared Venno. Alright. So this would be a lot easier if we got full stats and we just start punching them. And the main thing to say here, again, you cannot action feedback that I'm giving now, so I'm not going to repeat anything. But the way you play with Treant is to stand outside of vision as close as possible to where the lane is. All supporting and anti-supporting for the creep camps and the pools basically functions the same, which is 318 pool your own camp, 321 pool for a half pool, 325 take the enemy camp, and the same is true for every 30 seconds before and after all that. If you watch my streams, you will see a lot of these mechanics when playing support. This is a good pool almost, but as you see, it was 1 or 2 seconds too early. But it was a really nice try, and it would have actually helped a lot if that worked out. But outside of the lane mechanics about pooling and depools, best thing you can do is with Treant is to play out of vision. So you're playing a lot like a normal hero. You send me 2 Treant replays, so you clearly like the hero, so it's going to be super worth it for you to learn this. This is the place for you to stand now. And what you do from here, outside of vision, is if they go on Spectre, you WQ them after they go in. Alright? And the second place you could stand is here, and the third place is here. And you can be inside the trees, right? So now you're going to go for a 345 pool. Had you done an aggro on Venno the moment you saw him, they would have actually kept following you. So he's actually beating you with mechanics of how things work. Also, if you had had a blood grenade, you may have been able to gap close on top of him aggressively sometimes and actually smash his face. Now let's talk a little bit about items. We've talked a lot about the lane already. Items. You're looking to get Arcane Boots, Magic Wand, and Solar Crest. These are all good items. You do have a Sage Mask because in past games you found you go out of mana a lot. I would say most games just think about Magic Wand and Arcane Boots. Don't get the Sage Mask. Gave you that feedback already. And buy more consumables. Especially if... especially when he's low, to help him. Look, this is carry mindset. 10% life, only buy gloves. He's also poor, so he really can't buy much more. Whereas you're sitting on 500 gold looking to get boots. And it sure feels good as a support to get that boots. You would have killed him with Blood Grenade. It sure feels good as a support to get boots. But it should feel even better to see your Spectre at full life all the time, because that's actually going to unlock additional quest lines for you, which is you leaving temporarily and giving him solo XP, which is what he wants. Now you have 2 points in Leech Seed. I think generally that's usually the correct play, and your fourth would be probably Living Armor, unless you're really getting a lot done with your double spell combo. In this particular game, depending on how it's going in every lane, you might just want to start maxing Living Armor. It's going to help Spectre a bit. Again, he's dead if you have Blood Grenade. WQ, Blood, dead. So don't underestimate this item. There's 3 in the shop. You actually do end up getting him here, which is nice. So now, let's say you're in this situation. You ignored everything else so far, and this is the situation, right? What you want now, you've got the money for the boots. You're definitely going to get it. You've got the stick, but you're not maxed out in charges. So I'm going to say Magic Wand is actually suspect here. The boots leaves you with 243. What you actually want now is 1 Tango, just in case Spectre drops low. He's full now, but he may not be forever. And then you want to get an extra Clarity. You've got 1, but you want to maybe get a second. And you want to get maybe a second Sentry. And maybe a Smoke, because usually smokes pull up in the shop. And smokes allow you to play mid. And your axe is actually winning against Lina. So if you show up with a smoke in another lane, like Axe's lane, you may actually be able to get a kill. Which also allows your Spectre to get some solo XP. This Mars has been playing very timidly against Spectre, so I don't think Spectre's in any kind of risk. And so let's see what you do. You get the boots, double Clarity, very good. You get the bounty runes, always a good habit. Your Spectre is getting attacked, and he TP's out, which is nice. Now you can actually get solo XP here for a bit until he's back. So the item's not too bad. I would add the smoke and the Blood Grenade. We all love Blood Grenades. Medium, high level support. You do the pull, try to get it, didn't. Another thing that really helps if you ever intend to leave your... You should TP as well. If you ever intend to leave your carry alone, which can be a tactical good decision, put an observer ward. You want to know if the enemy mid is going to rotate, and you want to know if the enemy floating roamer support is going to join again. If you have an observer ward here, that's going to be worth gold. Maybe even here. Normally, this is an illegal location to ward if you do sentry battles for blocking the enemy camp. But if you've left this camp and they've left this camp, this ops ward is totally fine. And then Spectre can self-sufficiently deny ganks working on her. And that allows you to go somewhere else. TP back to lane. Let's see where you place the ops ward. I'm assuming you're going to play it right here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So, a very selfish ward. Very disappointing, I must say. You really didn't need it. Either the Wisdom Rune is there or it's not. And this ward most likely will not play a role in the next 5 minutes. So it's wasted. Yeah, my bad ward, copy that. No problem, no problem. We've all done this 100 times. I'm playing, acting disappointed. I know you already got my message about how this would help Spec. So, would still be fine for you to do an 825 pull. It's never too late to pull the lane back. And you're 1 second too early again, but I think you're going to get it this time. Because you can do a sideways pull. Almost. Because the lane... one habit that I find helps is just to do a ping. You don't even have to say what it is or pulling or whatever. If you just do a ping, then oftentimes Spectre may be slightly more aware and they may pull their lane sideways.
Thank you.
So you went 1-3-1. Normally this is the correct spell build. I'm assuming you're following a guide. You're on top of the bounty rune. Again, a good habit.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So, in this game, how badly do you need arcane boots? You don't, but it would help Spectre. So I'd say it's pretty good. You could also do Crest first, but then you would have to start playing with someone else. Spectre is level 6, so the play here would be to get arcane and give her mana and then leave forever. But let's check a little bit what's happening. So you get the bounty rune, right? You have TP available. Spectre's level 6 now. It's time to play other lanes.
Tower is under attack.
So if you were here, you would be able to do so much. You could heal your allies. You could slow the enemies. Spectre actually ends up joining, which leaves you the lane solo. And oh, hey, that's really cool. I never do this.
Under attack.
You did a double pull. That's a chain pull. That's super cool. I need to learn that too. Solo XP here is not a bad idea considering Spectre left. And they didn't need you. Solo XP, solo gold. Get CS, get CS. Alright, you're level 6. Now, go through the portal and help your team bot. Perfect, good instincts. If you had an observer ward with you, even better. You're now in a new area that you have not previously been in before. Imagine if you brought observer wards. There are none right now. So, never mind, there's no wards. Manning up on Luna alone. He has 0 points in Q. Alright, good. Leaving was good. 0 points in Q. Full farm, but no range creep confirms in lane. Interesting. Alright, I think it's not going to be as useful coaching the rest of it. The first 10 minutes has by far the most value when it comes to coaching. Because you now are already not building on some of the things that you learned. So I'm just going to do a small peek forward. And look a bit at the tendencies. Game is super even right now. I've already given you a lot to think about. You're going to build Crest. Well, Medallion first and then Crest. Which of course is where that Sage Mask comes in as well. I see now how you got that Sage Mask so early. If you're gonna get it anyway, might as well get it early. It's good thinking, but wrong. After Crest, where would you go next? You get the full Arcane Boots Crest Magic Wand. What would be next? Is it gonna be Drums and Boots of Bearing? Or Blink? Or is it gonna be Force Staff? Think of all the standard support items that exist. Yules, Force Staff, Blink, Glimmer. What's best? Magic damage, magic and physical, magic, lockdown based, and magic and slows. Slows, slows, slow, slow.
Money to burn.
And then they have a stun, and they have all kinds of things. I would say Force Staff is amazing this game, and I'd say Glimmer is really good this game as well. Not something that usually Treant likes to build, but it does happen. Oh damn, you got owned by the ult on Slider. So let's see what you get now. Yeah, of course you want Shard, and you've already committed mentally to Crest. But I think Force Staff and Glimmer are fantastic this game. Let's see what you get. You've got the Medallion. You are getting the Shard. Shard Medallion. What's next? What is Blarge thinking? Venge has a Drums. Axe has an Eternal Shroud, my man. We're gonna ignore that your team dived tier 3 at this point. Blink and Pipe. You've established that Slardar is building magic build. Phylactery. I mean,
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
it's pretty cool. Axe is not going to build pipe. Spectre's not going to build pipe. Venge might build pipe, but went crest as well, by the way. And drums. You've actually cancelled the completion of your crest because you realized Venge is building crest. A very common crest builder. So you're pivoting to pipe. I kind of like it. I like it. Pipe is a little underwhelming this patch, but they have an obscene amount of magic damage.
Dire's
It
middle
doesn't
tower
do anything in terms of, you know, it doesn't do anything in terms of playing. Like, it's not mobility, it's not invisibility, but I like it. And I like it extra much because you have an extremely tanky team. Vengeful enables damage reduction via nether swap. You've got 3 strength heroes and Spectre with dispersion. The fact that they have high health makes magic resist more effective. Think of the difference of magic resistance on Hoodwink with 800 health or a Slardar with 3000. You get a lot more effective health points out of it. So I think it's a cool decision. Blink is probably pretty cool too. So let's go forward and see how we blink. Oh, you decided to pipe before blink. I respect that. Okay.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Shadowing your team. You're showing and hitting.
under attack.
How are we with wards? Looks like Vengeful is a compulsive warder. You've got some wards. So you've got the Cliff Ward. And then here we also have the Cliff Ward. Let's see what you do here. Because you've got a ward. 2 Observer wards. And what I would like... Basically, wards are like a banner for your team to fight within. So wherever you place wards, more likely there's going to be fights. So you want to make sure that they're in a good location. This is an extremely common location by Venge. You already have aggressive vision. You're not going to go high ground. I kind of like a cheeky ward like here. Never going to get found here. Or like here. They never get found here. Because they always want to cover the entire cliff. Like this. So the sentry will never cover this. When they go for a sentry here, it's almost always here or here. And it's almost never like this. So this is like an invincible ward location. Doesn't show as much, but it will never be shown. Then most common wards here is here. Smack Daddy in the middle. Here. This is another cool ward location that's most likely... Maybe here. Because sometimes you have a sentry here that checks this. Or you have like a sentry here that checks this. So like this ward will also almost never get found. Somewhere here. Okay. Let's see. You've got pipe. I mean, at this point you just death ball. Just stay near and counter initiate.
Middle tower is under attack.
Not seeing the living armor might have actually saved him if you cast it immediately. As a tree, because you're so hard to see, try to stay near the most risky person without dying. So now you see Overgrowth Manta. Of course this is going to happen, it's 3k. Your awareness is not going to be as good as high level players. So you just see like, oh shit, a Luna on me, I ult. I don't have any harsh critique on that. Of course you're out of position, you didn't realize your team was already leaving. But as I said at the start of the game, Luna is a Manta buyer. That means that you will, instead of thinking I'm here to fight with my team, you're gonna think in a more precise way. What is my specific counter enemy? Because you can counter all 5. You can lock any of them down, right? But instead, what you're gonna think is, who is my primary enemy? And your primary enemy is Luna, and your secondary enemy is Lina. And by enemy, I mean you are their enemy. Of course, everyone wants to kill you, but who are you mostly looking to disable? This is how you should think as a support. Who are you saving, and who are you disabling? So, in this one is a battle of wills and vision between you and Luna most of all. So the way that it's gonna go is Axe or Slardar is gonna jump the enemy team, and then Luna is gonna Manta or BKB. And after either one of those, or preferably both, then you blink in or walk up, and then you ult. That's how every fight should go. And until that moment that you do that ult, or maybe they jump you and then you do it, you're gonna save your ult all the time, and you're only gonna cast Q and W, and you're gonna cast E on Slider or Spectre. Yeah, didn't see them leave. Sure, for sure. Yeah, I have that problem too. It's like, hey, you all left me, team. At this point, as a support, because you're not obsessed with hitting creeps all the time, you should think in the terms of the macro. See if your team is achieving the goals that it could be based on its lead. You will do a call to ask for towers, or you just join your team if you agree with what they are doing quietly. And if you think at any time your team is weak, too weak to take tower, but strong enough to take Roshan, then you try to call that. So, a couple of options here. You Ogre Seal forward and ult, trying to catch as many as you can. Or you hide in the shadows and save Overgrowth for counter initiate. Or 3, you walk up through the frost, very nice frost, and try to W someone. What is the best? Is Luna more your target than Lina because of her relative strength in the game? It's because she's mostly a physical attacker, and the ulti disables physical attacks. But Lina can still cast spells, and she's mostly a magic damage dealer, that's why. I like Ogre forward, I do none though. You just wait here in the bush. Boxy and Racer says you stay in tree and wait for counter, exactly. Don't even show. Do we like this? We do not like this, it's too soon. If you had done it after she BKBs, you win this fight.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
A very understandable play. And hopefully the next time when you do it, you will remember this.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And it won't be easy. And sometimes trying to remember these things actually makes you initially worse at some other parts in the game, but it is so worth it. Because you'll know that you're trying to learn something that you didn't do before, and that's very satisfying. Yep, I think that's all we got. One more quickie. It's only 5 AM. Yeah, actually no, that's crazy. I should not do that. My bad. I was desperate to have any impact. Yeah, I understand. You hadn't done anything for a while, right? And I guess it's like you are the hornet nest. You don't do anything until someone sticks your hand in. That's it. You're the hornet nest. You will screw them over when disturbed. But you will wait. You're not going to go after them and then just randomly invade some home and...
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Classic Dota player. Yeah, one more. So, the fact that you use ult is actually an enabler for the opponent, right? Because that's no longer on their mind. You are burdening their mind, or they're completely oblivious to it, simply by not casting your ability. It's the same with Chronosphere. So you're a counter-attacker on 3. Occasionally you will initiate, you will blink initiate for pickoffs, but that's only for pickoffs. You gotta know what you're in. Are you in a 3v1 or a 3v2, or are you in a 5v5? In a 5v5, 3 will never make the first move. Alright, cool. Class dismissed. Thanks for being a good student. Hope other people found it useful, and good night.